we are going to talk about. Oh, hey there. What is up with you? Wild Will. Thank you. So, how do you know you met the one? Actually, I should put that in quotes. The one. Okay? Where Terrell is over. Someone asked where you are.
Is that bad?
No, it's Will.
Oh, nice. So there's some popularity on your page.
He actually asks about you often.
Really?
Yeah, he does. Are you watching me? Well, how is everybody doing tonight? It's 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm sorry, but like I said, sometimes, it just takes a long time to get ready. And I also had a lot of work to do today, so I've been working nonstop today. So Valentine's Day is coming. What do you guys think of that? Are you excited? What are you doing? What up, Tavero Owens? Hello, Rogello. A lot more people are joining than I thought. I thought it would be too late for you guys, but I guess not. Okay. Let's see if I like this one better. Do you guys like this one? I like this one. Okay. So we're going to talk about Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is coming. And also, how do you know if you met the one? So chime in anytime because this is a live stream. And YouTube, I'm on YouTube as well. I don't look as good on YouTube, you guys, because I don't have a filter on there. That sucks. I hate that. Hi, Mr. Mohammed. Hi, D. What's up, you guys? So, what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? Before I get into how do you know you met the one, I just really quickly wanted to go over Valentine's Day. My phone is going to die, so I can't watch the live stream, unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can always watch the replay. It'll be on, I'll put it on my IGTV eventually, and then it'll be on my YouTube. Okay. So first I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day because in one of my last posts, I mentioned Valentine's Day, and some people were saying that thing that I hate people saying, that's like, isn't Valentine's Day some made up holiday that the Hallmark card companies make up so they can make money? I hate that, you guys. I will certainly do that. Love supporting you and your guy. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Will.
Oh, okay.
So, he does the wildlife photography. Actually,
right.
I showed you. Yeah, I showed you his pictures.
Yeah, he's excellent at that.
Terrell respects your work because
I see how hard it is to catch.
Because it's hard, yeah. Because he did a ranch job, and it was really hard to capture wildlife really well because
you scared him away. I scared him away.
Well, yeah, you scared him away, and because you have to choose lenses. Like some lenses are really good in low light, but then they're not good for zoom, and then zoom lenses
not good in low light.
Are not good in low light.
I'm gonna have to talk to Will.
Yeah. So I'll let you two discuss that. He did tell me what lens he had. Did I tell you?
It was a 600 millimeter, but I wonder what the aperture is. I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, talk to him. So Wild Will Photography is his IG name. So he's saying what's up right now. So
appreciate you.
Hi, Exalted Panther. How are you? Thank you for joining. So like I was just talking about on one of my last posts, someone said, isn't Valentine's Day some made up holiday that that Hallmark or whatever greeting card companies just make up so you can buy cards and spend money? Good morning, guys. Thank you, Exalted Panther. Good morning to you too. I don't like that statement for a lot of reasons. Number one, it sounds like someone was really down on the fact that they don't have somebody for Valentine's Day. You haven't been online for years. Yes, I have. You just haven't seen me. I've actually been online doing live streams more often than usual on this page. Hey, Swalpathucker. I don't know how to say your name. Sorry. Oh, thank you for the compliment, Ashqual Willows. You guys have usernames I can't like pronounce. I'm sorry. So someone was saying Valentine's Day is a made up holiday for Hallmark cards and other companies that want to sell you crap. And I don't like that because I feel like someone that's very angry about not having someone special for Valentine's Day said that to feel better and justify being single on Valentine's Day and not doing anything on Valentine's Day. And then they told someone else, and then someone heard them and believed them. And so then it's like a thing. And I just think that that's complete bullshit. You like getting, oh, don't say stuff like that. Swan, no rocker, whatever. Like, that's not cool. So I just wanted to say that I believe Valentine's Day is a very valid holiday. And to remind you that all holidays have been made up by someone or a group of people at one point in time. Even Christmas was made up by somebody. And actually that started way before the big Egyptian culture, because they came up with the Egyptian sun god, because December 25th in the winter is the first day where the sun stays out just like a second longer or half a second longer, but it starts to come out longer than the other short, long winter nights, but short winter days. So they created this Egyptian sun god day on December 25th, and then it was turned into a religious thing, and then pagans took it, Christians took it, and turned it into Jesus' birthday, even though his birthday he was a Pisces, so it was in the spring, which is why they have the fish symbol, which is really interesting. Side note, sorry. But that's my point, is that someone always makes up a holiday. And I gave an example on my post. I said, similar to Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, excuse me. It's not a made up like fake day. It's a day in which you reserve to celebrate that in which we're celebrating. So Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we take that day to set aside and say, you know what, we need to pay respects to someone that really paved a way for us as humans and brought us together and wanted more unity as opposed to duality. And I do think that that's a really good reason to celebrate the day. It doesn't mean that we stop giving respect to Martin Luther King Jr. throughout the year. I think that most people would like to give respect to him throughout the year, but we forget. And that's why there's certain days set aside to celebrate certain topics, such as Martin Luther King Day, and of course, Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day is a day where we all pay respect to love and romance. Yes, I do agree that love and romance should be practiced throughout the entire year, just like we should pay respects to everyone else we have holidays for. Like we have a day for our gods, whatever religion you have, there's some day for it. And then there's also days for people that are respected in your, that founded your country or, whatever have you, because there's a lot of people from other countries on here. I see you. How's your day? I'm good. How are you? Mutunner, what about your vacation in Switzerland? So is it morning in Switzerland? Is that why? I think it's morning over there. That's why you guys are all joining. It's night here. So Valentine's Day is a beautiful day, in my opinion, because it reminds us to stop and focus on love for a day and romance. Romance is extremely important, not only for women, but also for men. And we tend to forget that. I think not just in America, but all throughout the world, we forget how important love and romance is. When someone's dying on their deathbed, they don't say, "Wow, I really wish I worked more." They usually say, "I wish I loved more." And so I think that's a beautiful reason to have a holiday, and it's one of my favorites. My mom would get me flowers and chocolates when I was in school as a child, and so she was my very first Valentine. And every Valentine's Day, I would look forward to getting some sort of special delivery in class from her, and hopefully a secret admirer. But usually, I would never have a secret admirer, you guys. It was always my mom sending something, so I didn't feel left out, so I didn't feel ugly or stupid, because other girls would get flowers and chocolates, and I didn't. And I think that that's really beautiful, because Valentine's Day doesn't mean just romantic love between a man and woman or gay partnership. It also is love for your family and whoever else you love, a best friend, mom, anybody. I'm getting a little teary-eyed thinking about like how sweet it was that my mom did stuff like that for me when I was a kid. It moved me just like I'm moved now. So maybe what's wrong about having a day where people just stop and pay tribute to love and remind people that you love how much you love them by sending them something? That's one love language, or doing something. It's important that whoever you're trying to pay tribute to for love, that you ask them what their love language is, or find out what their love language is, and then express that on Valentine's Day. So comment what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day and how you're celebrating with your loved ones or loved one. Are you going to be with your friends? Are you going to be with your partner? Are you going to be with your mom? What are you doing? And so that brings me into what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, how do you know someone is the one today? And I want to start off by first saying that no one ever 100% knows everything in this lifetime. A lot of people, especially that become teachers, only became teachers because they maybe had a lot to learn in a certain area, or felt like they fell short in a certain area. And so they dedicated some time, effort, and energy to that topic, whether it be love, money, whether it be intellect, math, whatever. And once they started doing a bunch of research, they felt confident and started loving it. And so even teachers don't always know everything during their lifetime. So with that in mind, what I'm trying to say is, in my humble way of letting you know that me and not anyone else will know 100% if someone is the one for you. Okay? So now that you know that, I wanted to talk about some things that you look for when you are dating, or when you're in a relationship with someone. And these are things you might not normally think of, because typically think of, do you have things in common? Do you get along? Are you compatible sexually? Are you compatible in horoscopes? Are you compatible being physically attracted to each other? And do you like each other's family? And those kinds of compatibility things. Those are very, very important. Don't get me wrong, they're very, very important. But to understand if someone is the one, let's try to wrap our minds around what the one is. I don't really like to stereotype or put in a box a soulmate or twin flame, or husband or wife, because I don't think you have to marry the one for you to have a good relationship. I also don't think that they have to be your twin flame or soulmate, or you have to find out if they're your twin flame or soulmate for you to be happy in a relationship. Again, these are all my opinions based on a couple decades of research and a lot of experience. I'm older than I look, so I've had a lot of experience in relationships that you might not know about. And, from being a child and just watching relationships at a very young age and being really fascinated, and then getting my college degree in communication and gender studies, and understanding that the whole relationship dynamic, from such a young age. And I'm life path number 6, which is all about love, connection, and relationships. So it's always been a very fascinating topic for me. Now I lost what I was saying. I do that sometimes, you guys. Sorry. I feel like it's more important to look for compatibility, and what you actually need to look for is someone that will grow with you. Okay? And that's the key. That's the biggest key, honestly. Someone that will grow with you. And that can look like a lot of different things. I really love Esther Perel. She talks about mating. She has a book called Mating in Captivity, and she likes to question the whole paradigm of monogamy and infidelity and what that means. She's not for or against, but she just likes to talk about it in her books and her speeches, and it's really fascinating. So there is no right way or wrong way. There's actually no such thing as right or wrong. And in the past, marriages and life partners were a business agreement or a business deal. And it's changed so much. And it's actually changed so many times that relationships are pretty much always changing. There's never been like one defined term of relationships or marriage or anything, because it's always changing. And so just looking at that, we need to realize what, is natural for humans. And what's natural for humans is evolution and change, and curiosity and expansion. And if you're in the spiritual community, you understand that expansion is number one, and for your experience in this lifetime. And so if you're expanding, you're living is basically, the key in, self-help community and self-growth community and self-love community and spiritual community. So if you're not growing, you're dying. I don't like the term dying, but I think stagnant is a really good term, or settling. I think settling is one of the best terms that we can use for not growing. So after you discover if you and your partner have the basic compatibilities that are important, checking off your list, whatever that may be, physical, sexual, chemistry, and compatibility, and character compatibility. Do you both have the same kind of moral compasses? Are you more equal to each other? Or there's someone that feels superior, so they can control the other. There's so many compatibility variables, and I get into those in other videos. So if you follow me on YouTube, you can look through my other videos and understand different compatibility variables, and I'll go into them in future videos as well. But this one I want to focus on your one. Your one, it's important in 2020, is different from back in 1900. So like as I mentioned, marriage used to be a business construct, and 2020, it can be to a certain degree somewhat of a business construct. However, more people than not use it as an experience and for love. So, if you really get down to the bottom of why people say they want to get married, and really dig deep and deep and keep asking questions, it's usually for love or for experience. So with that being said, we're living a lot longer than we ever have in the past. if you're healthy enough, you could live well over 100 now. And, back 100 years ago, we were living half as long. So to be with the same person all your life was a much lower commitment back then than it is now. Because it's a higher commitment now, because you live longer, people are getting married later. They're also watching their parents getting divorces and deciding they want to wait, which is good. It's really good because people are understanding that, when you're young, you're probably not ready for such a commitment or responsibility. And it's better to wait. And because you're going to have to be with this person, if you say till death do us part, you're going to have to be with them a really long time. So the key with this one, if you keep in mind that your lifetime together will be a lot longer than it was 100 years ago, is going to take on a different definition now than it ever has before. And your partner and you should have an understanding that it's your relationship should evolve as much as you do. And if both of you are on an evolutionary path, then your relationship has to evolve as well. And I bring up Esther Perel again because I just think she's so amazing. She said that she's had 3 marriages with her husband, meaning 3 different marriages. 3 different times it's changed and evolved to something different than it was before. She said her husband thinks that they've had 4. And I thought that was really interesting if you think about that, because if you're not married and you want your relationship to be different or your partner to change, it's easy to just break up with someone and just say, I've moved on, I'm done, I learned what I need to learn, thank you, goodbye. It's so easy to do that, right? Especially in 2020 with all the options we have, the illusion of options, I should say, that we have based on social media and online dating. The grass is greener on the other side mentality. You're not gonna be a good life partner if you have that kind of mentality. So just giving it to you straight. But if you remember that there's 3 entities in a relationship, there's me, you, us. And the me and the you has grown and the us has stayed the same, then your relationship is probably going to end. People may start to resent each other. There may be more arguments. You may feel stifled. You may have a sense of loss of freedom. A lot of negativity going around. And it's important to remember that you have to focus on the us again if something's off, and not just the me and not just the you. Someone may have a really big issue in the relationship. They bring it up with their partner. Partner doesn't know what to do. So the person that has an issue feels like they have to take it upon themselves to fix it themselves, and that could drive the relationship apart. But if you say, let's do this together, let's brainstorm together, let's make this happen together, let's evolve together, let's redefine our relationship together, let's find out what our strengths and weaknesses are together. Those kinds of conversations can help not only bond you two, but evolve the us, because the us gets left behind quite often in a relationship. Even with people that aren't on necessarily like a self-help, evolutionary, or spiritual path, they do grow as they get older. They become wiser, and they maybe assume their partner is just the same person that they were when they first met, however many years ago, and just don't take the time to talk to them about how much you've changed. And a good example of that is someone in a relationship maybe becomes bi-curious. That's their own evolution and their own, organic path And when they met this partner, they were in a straight relationship, and that was the initial agreement of the relationship. So the person that became bi-curious might judge themselves and assume that their partner will judge them too. And then they become sneaky and secretive and do things behind their partner's back. Instead of just talking to their partner, hey, I'm having some thoughts, like, let's talk about this. And you never know, maybe your partner would be really open to staying with you while you're going through this phase or journey or whatever it may be. You don't know unless you talk to them. Maybe your partner wants nothing to do with it. So then that's not the partner for you, because then you're settling for feeling stifled and for the feeling of not having your freedom, and that's not really fair for either one of you. Thank you for the hearts. So, or someone may say, I feel like I really need to explore, have an open relationship, whatever. People really need to stop taking things so personal in relationships and look at it like that's a them entity. The them entity is needing some growth, and you have to allow them to grow. Even if it hurts you, you have to allow them a certain amount of freedom within the relationship. Otherwise, the us isn't growing and the them isn't growing. So there's two parts of the relationship that aren't growing. And then you'll probably feel guilty because you're not letting it grow, them grow, the relationship grow. And it just hurts everything. So there has to be a level of understanding in relationships. There has to be a certain level of empathy in relationships, and there has to be a level of flexibility and evolution. So that's the main thing I want to focus on today when I say, how do you know someone is the one? Because if you only want one for the rest of your life, let's talk about what that means. You want one person to be both stable and wild and adventurous and, have a side of them that you just don't know, like an air of mystery. Okay, so you want both in one person. And then you also want one person that's going to be your best friend, but then you also want them to be your best lover ever. And then you also want them to be your mentor, your guide, your shoulder to cry on, your vent outlet, your shopper friend, your hunter friend, your TV watcher friend, your dog sitter, your babysitter, your change your diaper. You understand what I'm saying? You're asking one person to fulfill every role that a village used to fulfill, many, many years ago when monogamous relationships first started. You're asking one person to be all of that. So it's not fair to expect that of one person, yet also not want them to grow at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. You have to allow them areas to grow. You have to allow them the space that because everyone has a need for space and everybody has a need for closeness. Everybody has a need for intimacy and everybody has a need for freedom. And if they're the one, and if you want to be the one for them, you have to have enough security within yourself to allow them the space to grow and evolve. And you have to love them no matter what. A really good example of this is, I was listening to a TED Talk that made me cry. This woman was giving an amazing speech. She was talking about her perfect relationship. It was so perfect, you guys. She met this man of her dreams, and she had this man on her vision board. This man was everything she wanted. He was an amazing provider. He was an amazing father, amazing lover, amazing everything, best friend, everything that she possibly could ever imagine. And she'd never been so in love ever. And they'd been together for 10 years. They'd been married for like 8 of those 10 years. And on their 10th year, her partner said to her, I think that I was born in the wrong gender, and I think that I need to become a woman. Wow, right? That's huge. What would you do, you guys? What would you do if you're in a committed relationship that you said you wanted to be with this person for the rest of your life, and they said, I want to be a different gender? What would you say? And if you really truly love this person, you would allow them the space for their own growth and their own journey to be what they want to be this lifetime. That's what true love is. That's what a true the one is. And that's what she did. They redefined their marriage. They redefined the relationship to allow this evolution. And I think that's a beautiful example of what true love is. I think that's a beautiful example of what a true partnership is and what a true life partner is. So that's just something to think about, you guys. I just wanted to break down a different, I guess, way of explaining who you think the one is. I always like to talk about things a little deeper than the typical coach. So hopefully you hung in there with me, and thank you so much for listening. I'm happy to talk about the other compatibilities in a different video. Please feel free to message me, comment, let me know if you have questions, if you have specific topics you want to hear more about. But this one is deep, you guys. And the point of this is to really get you thinking about what kind of person you will be for your partner. How much evolution will you allow your relationship and your partner to have? Because if you don't allow that, you might be one of the really high statistics in divorces, because that person's not going to be happy if you don't allow them the space to grow their own way, in their own organic way. But if you do allow them the space to grow in their own organic way, they're going to be so turned on by you. They're going to desire only you. They're not going to be able to go anywhere. Where are they going to go? What's going to be better than someone that gives them the space to grow and be who they are and be who they're meant to be? There's nothing better. There's no better partner in life than someone that loves you for you, no matter what. No matter what stages you go through in your life, no matter who you become, that one will grow with you. Okay? So thanks so much for joining me tonight, you guys. I really appreciate you. And follow me on It's the Love Mentor on Instagram, and on YouTube, Love Mentor Chelsea. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the notification button so you can know when I have some videos coming up for you. And again, please send me some comments so I know what kind of videos to do for you in the future. Have an amazing Valentine's Day. I love you guys.